At the edge of the forest, a fallen log looks finished. But beneath its broken bark, a hidden kingdom is already awake. A beetle larva cuts through softened wood, and the whole tunnel trembles. Springtails scatter over wet fungus like sparks across a dark floor. A rove beetle slips through the crack, hunting anything small enough to catch. Termite workers open a pale chamber where dead wood becomes food. A centipede shadow crosses the passage, and the Tine kingdom freezes. The log is not dead. It is feeding the forest from the inside. Morning rain has left the bark swollen, dark, and soft. Water gathers in grooves that once carried living sap. Fungal threads spread through the wood like pale veins. Each thread helps weaken fibers that insects could never break alone. Beetle larvae follow that softness, chewing galleries through the log. Their bodies move slowly, but the wood changes behind them. Frass collects in loose tunnels, turning hard wood into soil-like crumbs. Springtails arrive first where moisture holds under the bark. They graze on films of fungus and bacteria, invisible to larger eyes. A mite crawls between them, testing the same damp surface. Nothing here works alone. Every small mouth changes the next creature's path. Near the outer bark, an ant scout finds a crack full of scent. It does not own this place, but it can read opportunity. Inside, eastern subterranean termites move in a line through a pale tunnel. They carry fragments no larger than dust, building order in the dark. A worker turns back when the tunnel roof leaks cold rainwater. The colony shifts away from danger without a single voice. Above them, a shiny woodlouse presses under loose bark, scraping softened material. Its armor catches droplets, and the bark flakes shift around it. A rove beetle follows the movement, fast and low. It is not a giant, but in this tunnel, it becomes a hunter. A springtail launches from its path and vanishes into a fungal groove. The strike fails, but the disturbance opens a new route. Deeper in the log, beetle larvae continue the slow work. Their jaws do not destroy the forest, they begin its return. Every bite exposes more surface for fungus and microbes. Every tunnel lets air and moisture enter deeper wood. The log becomes less like a branch and more like a living city. At midday, light reaches only the cracks. Under the bark, the world stays humid and dim. A small fungus gnat lands where white mycelium rises from the grain. Its legs tap the surface before it moves toward the dampest patch. A spider waits at the edge of an old beetle exit hole. It is not part of the wood's work, but it feeds on the traffic. A termite worker touches the silk and backs away. The line breaks, reforms, and chooses another passage. Outside, a bird footstep shakes the log like distant thunder. Inside, springtails leap from the vibration before the danger is seen. The rove beetle uses the panic and pushes into the open lane. A mite disappears under a curled bark scale. A beetle larva pulls deeper into its gallery. A whole kingdom survives by moving before the threat arrives. By afternoon, the rainwater begins to drain. Moisture retreats from the upper bark, but remains in the heartwood. Creatures follow the wet line as if following a map. Termite workers seal one edge with particles from the tunnel floor. Their wall is small, but it changes the route of air and scent. Ants enter only near the broken surface, where light still reaches. They take loose crumbs and test fungal strands with their antennae. A ground beetle appears below the log, moving through leaf litter. Its jaws turn toward the traffic falling from the bark. The forest floor receives what the hidden kingdom releases. Springtails rain down with wood dust and climb back toward shelter. A slug slides along the shaded base, rasping the damp surface. It leaves a silver path that springtails avoid. An isopod squeezes past it, pulling at softened flakes. The log is being eaten, scraped, tunneled, and rearranged at once. Near the center, a larval chamber widens under pressure. The beetle larva bends, braces, and shaves another layer loose. A pale pellet falls into the tunnel behind it. That pellet becomes food, shelter, and soil for another life. Fungal threads thicken where air reaches the broken gallery. A fungus gnat lifts off, then lands again when wind rattles the bark. The rove beetle returns, following the movement of springtails. This time the prey escapes upward, not sideways. The hunter collides with a termite worker and turns toward the darker crack. Every failed attack redirects the flow of life. Even predators help shape the paths inside the log. Late light warms the outer bark and pulls moisture outward. Small flies gather near the softened seam. Ants take the chance to cross from bark to leaf litter. A mantis nymph appears above the log, drawn by movement at the edge. It is a visitor to the kingdom, not its ruler. A fly escapes from the seam and lifts into its range. The strike is fast, but the fly drops back into shadow. The nymph holds still while the log keeps moving beneath it. Below the bark, termites repair the disturbed tunnel. They do not chase the drama above them. Their work is steady, hidden, and older than the moment. As dusk comes, the surface cools again. Deep within the saturated wood, the Scolopendra advances. Its antennae are highly sensitive, detecting the presence of the Nasutermes colony. Springtails cover a fungal patch like scattered white seeds. A rove beetle climbs through them, choosing one movement from many. A centipede, Geophilus, enters from the leaf litter, legs testing both wood and air. The chamber narrows, and every creature chooses distance. An eastern subterranean termite soldier blocks a passage while workers retreat behind it. The centipede turns towards softer prey near the bark edge. The hidden kingdom does not fight as one army. It survives by layers. Night makes the rotten log louder. Not with voices, but with scraping, tapping, chewing, and shifting dust. Beetle larvae continue behind walls that no eye can see through. Woodlice and mites work across the damp outer skin. Springtails leap when a droplet falls from the moss above. The droplet breaks a tiny bridge of fungal threads. By morning, new threads will cross the gap. The damage becomes another entrance. A small mushroom cap pushes from the side of the log. It is only the visible sign of a much larger body inside. The insects and fungi have been sharing the same meal all along. Dead wood holds carbon, water, shelter, and memory. This kingdom opens it slowly, one bite and one tunnel at a time. The forest floor darkens beneath the log with fresh crumbs. Roots reach toward the loosened soil. New seedlings rise where the old tree is being returned. What looked like an ending becomes the forest's hidden beginning. Inside the rotten log, the smallest workers keep the kingdom alive. Nothing here is wasted. Even the dark chambers give something back. The old wood softens into passages, crumbs, and places to hide. Predators patrol the same tunnels that decomposers open. Fungi hold the kingdom together, while insects keep it moving. By final dawn, the fallen log has become a nursery for the forest. The hidden kingdom continues after the camera leaves.